Welcome back to My Views and News, another video for you. Firstly, Tigray's team of negotiators is back in Mekelle, Tigray's capital. Coming days are very crucial for the peace agreement signed in South Africa. Now, some key meetings, some press briefings are expected in Mekelle. Secondly, a new operation, military operation against Oromo Liberation Army is on the cards. If it has not started, I think it is already underway. Ethiopian National Defense Force, Ethiopian Federal Forces are being mobilized from northern Ethiopia towards Oromia. And thirdly, a Somalia's Navy officer who is under training in Eritrea has been appointed as the head of Navy of Somalia. Firstly, viewers, Tigray's team of negotiators is back in Mekelle, Tigray's capital. For more than 20 days, the team was out of Tigray. Getachew, General Sadkan, and 5 other members were taken to South Africa by a US Air Force jet. They negotiated there on the 2nd November. They signed a peace agreement. After that, they returned not to Tigray, but to, some say, to Ethiopia. I think at least 2 of them were seen in Addis Ababa, Ethiopian capital. And then they were seen in Kenya, in Nairobi. Some returned to Tigray, but Sadkan and Getachew did not. So they were in Nairobi, Kenya, and there talks were held between military command of the two sides. Getachew was there too, and then 2 days ago, military commanders, the two sides, Tadesse Varade and Bhanojula, signed declaration. And finally, the team is back in Mekelle, Tigray's capital. Now, another phase of this peace process is about to start. Can Tigray region remain united behind this peace agreement? This is an important question which will have an impact on the future of the peace agreement. Everyone in Tigrayan diaspora, they were waiting for the return of Getachew and Sadkan to Mekelle. They would return and they would brief the people, brief opposition parties, brief TPLF, disgruntled elements, brief diaspora about what happened in Nairobi, in Pretoria, South Africa. So the delegation is back in Mekelle. In coming days, some key meetings will be held. Of course, first priority is to create unity in the Tigray region. Within TPLF, unity is the first priority. Secondly, unity between TPLF and other groups. Small parties like Salsevene, TIP, Batona. Though Tigray Independence Party 2 days ago in a statement demanded the removal of TPLF from Tigray's political scene. So now an internal unity is going to be the target of Tigray's leaders. Can they create an internal unity? Of course, Tigrayan diaspora will be involved. We could see some virtual meetings, some are already underway. Pro-TPLF diaspora community members are very active. They're trying to take other diaspora members on board, but efforts have not resulted in serious progress. There are some issues, and people wanted Getachew and Sadkan to be clear, to be open about the agreement. DU is back in Mekelle, so in coming days, meetings will be held. Let's hope and pray that Tigray remains united. That is how the peace deal will be implemented. If there are fissures and splits, peace deal will be collapsed. It could collapse. So that is why unity is needed on both sides, on Tigray side, on Ethiopian government side too. But TPLF will have to be transparent. TPLF cannot issue statements in Tigrania for the people of Tigray and in English for diaspora and for international community. It will have to be consistent and transparent. People cannot be fooled by ruling party TPLF in Tigray. People know what happened in South Africa, in Nairobi. If there are some underhand understandings, if some things were agreed under the table, that can be shared by these negotiators with diaspora, with Tigray parties to alleviate their concerns. So that is why coming days are crucial. Secondly, viewers, a new operation against armed group in Oromia, Oromo Liberation Army, is going to start if it has not started. Before the start of Tigray conflict, third round of fighting in August, an operation, a military operation against Oromo Liberation Army was underway in Oromia. Ethiopian National Defense Force, Ethiopian Federal Police, Oromia Regional Police, Oromia Special Force, Oromia militias, several forces were part of the operation. And OLA was starting to feel the pinch of the pressure of the offensive. Then started war in northern Ethiopia, and Ethiopian National Defense Force, federal forces, they were relocated from Oromia to northern Ethiopia, to Tigray Amhara border, to Tigray Afar border. And before that, there were three main checkposts, command posts of Ethiopian National Defense Force to monitor the operation against OLA in Oromia. One was in southern Oromia, second one was in western Oromia, and third one was in eastern and central Oromia. Now, once again, reportedly, Ethiopian National Defense Force convoys are returning to Oromia. They are returning to Oromia via BG, Benishangul Gumuz region of Ethiopia. They're not using Bahirdar to Nakamte Road. Bahirdar to Addis Ababa Road is a longer route. They can use either Bahirdar to Nakamte Road or Bahirdar or BG to Valaga Road. Reportedly, they are returning to Oromia from BG. So they might be arriving in BG by air, and then from BG they are entering Oromia by road. And that is why I think we have seen that two towns under OLA have been retaken by government forces in the last 48 hours. The towns are Mendi and the other one which I reported in the previous video is Nedjo. OLA fighters were there more than a week ago in two towns. They shared picture videos. But reportedly, the two towns are now under the control of government forces. It means that from western side, from Benishangul Gumuz region side, hundreds, if not thousands, of ENDF members have entered Valaga. They are trying to clear Valaga. And maybe that is why OLA is out of Mindi and out of Nedjo. Dawn strikes are also underway in Valaga. I think Valaga is going to be a hot battlefield now in coming days because operation against OLA has started. Not announced, but the way we are receiving reports about fighting in Valaga, it seems that government will try to crush OLA in Valaga. Valaga is OLA's stronghold. We'll try to keep you updated. So far, we can confirm that ENDF is returning to Oromia. A new operation against OLA is on the cards if it hasn't started, though signs there that it has already started. Thirdly, viewers, Eritrea is going to have a major influence in Somalia's security institutions in future because Somalia's Navy commander was appointed a few hours ago by Somalia's government. His name is Colonel Mubarak Abdikani. Colonel Mubarak Abdikani was receiving training in Eritrea a few months ago. I think in July, when Hassan Sheikh, president of Somalia, visited Eritrea, he visited some naval officers of Somalia's military too, who were receiving military training in Eritrea. And there Mubarak Abdikani was seen too in the pictures. So in July, he was receiving military training in Eritrea. Reportedly, Mubarak Abdikani is still in Eritrea, but he is due to return to Mogadishu in coming days, and after that, he'll formally take over the role of leader of Somalia's navy. Somalia is in the process of building a navy. It does not have a very sophisticated navy, sophisticated air force as well. Eritrea is helping Somalia in building all three wings of Somalia's military: air wing, naval wing, a wing of ground forces. So that shows that in coming days, weeks, months, years, Eritrea will have significant influence in Somalia's security institutions. There was a time a few years ago when Eritrea was in alliance with opposition groups in Ethiopia, in Somalia. But policy has changed. Now Eritrea is openly supporting governments. It is supporting the government of Somalia. It is supporting the government of Ethiopia against those groups which are fighting governments in Ethiopia and Somalia. Thank you for watching.